And then we move to the next presenter. Fitriatun, are you ready?
Yes, sir. All right, thank you very much for the time. Good morning, everyone. I hope you always be in good condition and a happy situation. So here, I would like to present about this research under the title An Analysis of Cooperative Principal Maxims in the Dialogue of English Textbook entitled Bahasa Inggris When English Rings a Bell for the 8th grade students of junior high school. So for the author is me myself, Fitriatun Hasanah, and also Yusuf Al-Arif, and the last is Emma Rosana Febrianti. So let's move to the background. As human being, of course, we need to communicate using language, whether it can be oral or written. So whether in daily life or such a meeting like in this picture. Teaching language properly is necessary since beginning. Moreover, teaching about English, because as we know, English is not our main language, so it will take time for us to be fluent in English. That's why English has been put in the national curriculum of education, and the presence of English textbooks is necessary to support the teaching learning process. It is stated by Brown 1994 in UMI 2019. So here the researcher chose the English textbook entitled When English Rings a Bell, that it was published by Ministry of Education and Culture in year 2017. It is revised edition. That in the textbooks has pictures, tasks, and dialogues, etc. Furthermore, dialogue helps students to imagine and describe the real situation. So to have a better understanding or reaching the goal of conversation, we need to learn about maxims. And if we do not fulfill the maxims, it holds floating maxim. So it means there is hidden meaning that wanted to convey by the speakers. As Noviana, 2016, said that in her research, teaching maxims or cooperative principles help students to have a better communication and able to build their critical thinking. Also, in Adi Hangga Nurzani, 2015, find that some floating maxim of quality in the research, whereas the students should learn more honesty to get trusted by people. So that's why researcher conducted this study, because the researcher wanted to know whether in the dialogue of English textbook there are types of maxims or not, and also whether it has floating maxims or not. So we go to the review of literature. Pragmatic. So here Noviana states that pragmatic is the study of the ability of language users to pair sentence with the context in which they would be appropriate. So pragmatic here more to the context. Also, cooperative principle, Grace stated that make your contributional suggest is required at the stage at which occurs. And here we have 4 maxims. First, maxim of quality, that make your contribution. Do not say what you believe to be false or lack evidence. Next is maxim of quantity, make your contribution as informative as is required. Next is maxim relation or relevance. So it must be relevant to the topic proceeding. And then last is manner. Manner is avoid obscurity, ambiguity, and be brief and be orderly. Next is about floating maxim. So floating maxim appear when the speaker bluntly failed to observe the maxims. And Cutting 2002 said that when the speaker appears to not follow the maxim, but expect hearers to appreciate the meaning implied. So here we have floating maxim of quantity, quality, relation, and manner. Next is dialogues. So here the researcher analyzed the transactional dialogue and also interpersonal dialogue, whether it has the type of maxim and also whether it has a floating maxim. So transactional dialogue means like interview, debates, etc. Also for the interpersonal dialogue, It maintains social relationships such as casual conversation. Next is research methodology. Here, the researcher used descriptive qualitative because the data is natural, and also the researcher wanted to conduct more deeply about the analysis of maxims. And then for the instrument here, research instrument here is the researcher alone that plain collect data, analyze, and report about the dialogue. So for the data analysis, here we have familiarizing or organizing. So here we read and reread. Also, the researcher organize which dialogue can be analyzed. Next is coding. Coding. So here, the researcher give encodes to make easier people to read the research or to understand about this research. Next is reducing. So the researcher begin to take data and break it into small pieces and remark maxims in the dialogue. Next, last is interpreting and representing. So here, the researcher restate the dialogue content maxims and represent it using document pictures and demonstrate them through descriptive detail. Here, for the validity, researcher used triangulation. Investigator triangulation is carried out by using more than one person to collect the data and the analysis. Here, the researcher asks help to directors of English language education study program to validate the instrument, also the findings. Next is result and discussion. So here, as we see that the most dominant type of maxim is quality, and then next is maxim of relevance, and then maxim manner, and then quantity. For the floating maxim, the most is quantity, and then manner, and then relevance, and then 0% for quality. Here is the example, the dialogue in the textbooks. As we see that here, Edot tried to say honestly that he really didn't understand. That's why he said, "Sorry, ma'am, I don't," and say that again, please. For the maxim of relevance, as we see, this Dayu answer relevantly to the teacher question. So it's very interesting, sir. It's relevant to the teacher's question about the stories. Next is about manner. So here Edo explained it orderly and briefly about Udin's question. Next is quantity. Here the students answer it briefly, and they didn't give any information that more required. Next is type of floating maxim in the dialogues. For the floating maxim of quantity, here we found that Udin answered it more required, give information more than required. Actually, he can say yes, but he exaggerate the answer. Next is about manner. Also here, B answer can answer, "I only slept for 3 hours last night." It's enough actually, but here the B answer it what? Answer it more and excessively, like he made it not as simple as the question. Next is relevance. So here Udin doesn't answer Edo's question relevantly. So for the conclusion is all dialogue contains the maxims, but the dominant one is quality. And the reason why maxim of quality is as become the dominant type is because the students could learn more moral value of being honest. And the second, the dialogue contains the three vaulting maxims. They are manner, quantity, and relevance. And the most is maxim quantity. This because the textbook is expected to give more example to deliver opinion freely, and 0% for vaulting maxim of quality because an honesty is really important to get trusted by people. Next is suggestion. So for the teachers, here the researcher could hope that teacher could give more understanding about maxim to the students so that can enhance their speaking skills. And then next is for the students. The students should pay attention to the maxim so that they can avoid misunderstanding or misleading in conversation. Next is to the readers or other researcher that we hope that have deeper understanding toward maxims or cooperative principle and help other researcher to conducting the similar study about this research. So that's all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's all. I'll give it back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Fitriatun Hasanah, for the very informative presentations. You talk about maxims, and then you deliver to analyze cooperative principle of maxim in the dialogue of English textbooks.